Hello everyone, and welcome back to my second One Piece video. Uh, Before I start, I want to say thanks to everyone who's watched my first video. In less than 24 hours, it got over 70 views. That's crazy. I would have never imagined that. I was expecting maybe like 20 or 30 views, if that. So big shout outs to everyone who watched it, who shared it, who liked it, and just thanks for all the positive feedback that I've received. And today I'm back with I think what is a pretty cool video, and it's going to be a sort of fantasy pick of what I would like to see if in fact the Straw Hats do go up against the Blackbeard Pirates in 1v1 fights. So to start off, why do I believe, or why do people believe that there's going to be 1v1 fights versus the Blackbeard Pirates? And to start off, the first thing is that we've seen 1v1 fights throughout One Piece. We saw it at first. We saw it first with Fishman Island, not Fishman Island, Arlong Park. Then we saw it at Alabasta. And even though Chopper and Usopp had a 2v2 fight, it's still a 1v1 ratio. So I consider that still kind of to be 1v1. Then we had it again at Enies Lobby, and recently we've seen it at Fishman Island. And as a fan of shonen in general, 1v1 fights tend to bring out the best in the characters. They tend to bring out new moves, new strategies, and just pretty much bring every character to its limit. That's why I personally like 1v1 fights. And I feel like it would be a missed opportunity for Oda to not use the Blackbeard Pirates and the Straw Hat Pirates to have these fights. With that said, it's totally possible that it doesn't happen. But again, this is just a discussion video. It's not really me picking who I think should fight. It's more of picking who I think I would personally like to see fight. And so this video, at the end of the video, I want you guys to tell me who you guys would like to see fight whom. There is no right or wrong answer. It's a lot of this is guessing. That's why I don't want to make this a guessing game. There's more just personal picks of who I would like to see fight. So to start, before we start, actually, we need to make a very big a choice on whether Doc Q and Stronger count as one or two. Okay. Do they count as one or two people? You could choose either one. I'm gonna go by the assumption that Doc Q and Stronger are one, mainly because of the fact that every time we see them, they have similar attitudes. They have the similar illness, and they're always together. So having similar character makes me think that they actually fight together as one. So with that said, if we look at the Blackbeard Pirates and we count Doc Q and Stronger together, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 total. The Straw Hats right now we only have 9, but of course we know Jinbei joined, and so this is going to be under the assumption that we have the current Straw Hat Pirates plus Jinbei. If another one joins later, then we'll change it around. And that we're also working under the assumption that Doc Q and Stronger are going to fight together. So without further ado, I've made a little bracket here, and so I'm going to go one by one each of the Blackbeard Pirates and talk about who I think would possibly fight him, and then choose which one I would personally like to see fight. And so the first one I'm not really going to talk about too much. It's just Blackbeard, captain. So obviously the captain's gonna have to fight the captain, so that one's pretty easy. Luffy. Let's get to the interesting ones. Again, this one's these two are the obvious ones. I believe the most obvious ones with Blackbeard and Shiryu. Shiryu the dragon, of course. Everyone believes is gonna fight Zoro. Zoro. Okay, and of course these fights. Pretty much ever since Blackbeard released the villains from level 6, that's when everyone started, really believing that there were going to be a clash between the Straw Hats and the Blackbeards at the end of the series. And so let's look at the first. So these two are kind of the ones everyone says, for sure they want to see fight. and Burgess. Okay, so here's where we start. From now on, everything is kind of complicated, and we're gonna see. So recently, we've seen that Jesus Burgess is the first division commander of the Blackbeard Pirates. Okay, so who do I think he's gonna fight? Well, when it comes to the Strawhat Pirates, who's normally second in command? Is it Zoro or is it Sanji? So that's a tough question that everyone's asked themselves for a long time. In my personal opinion, I believe that throughout the series we've seen Sanji kind of step up to that leadership role whenever Luffy was either gone or missing, whether it be intentional or unintentional. We've seen it with Mr. Prince, where he shows his presence as a strong character. We've seen we're seeing it currently in the manga with where he's kind of taking control of the ship, and yeah, I mean I believe that at the end of the day, even though Zoro might be a little stronger, that's debatable. I do believe that in terms of leadership, Sanji is the second in command. And so he would be a good fit to fight Burgess. I mean, Burgess is super strong, and if Zoro is going to be up against Shiryu, then the only person I could see would be the third of the monster trio, possibly Jinbei if he joins once he joins later. But it'd be really cool to see Sanji, Burgess throw a house and Sanji just kick it, just like he does like the big rocks and stuff. So my pick's gonna be Sanji. So let's go ahead and pick that. So Jesus and Sanji. Alright, next one is Lafitte. Okay, now Lafitte, if I remember correctly, he's the navigator for the Blackbeard Pirates, and so a lot of people like to pair them up with roles. So navigator versus navigator, sniper versus sniper. I actually don't believe that's how it's gonna happen. And with Lafitte, he has a couple interesting characteristics. First of all, he likes to tap dance, and he has these angelic wings that we've seen. I believe as they were leaving after meeting Luffy for the first time. So who do I think he can get paired up against? Well, I really have two strong contenders when it comes to this, and the first one would be. The first one that people talk about is possibly Robin. Lafitte has wings. Robin can make wings now, and so it'd be really cool to see maybe like a sky battle between Lafitte and Robin, where they both have their wings, and Robin's just like making like body parts everywhere, and Lafitte, we don't really know what his power is. He has a cane. But the one that I personally think would go really well against Lafitte would be, or the one I would like to see is Brook, Soul King Brook. And the reason is, first of all, they both had a top hat before the time skip. They both carry a cane. They both, they have a musical theme to them. And it'd be really cool to see. I mean, I would like to see Brook go up against a strong opponent like Lafitte. One of the original members. One of the cruelest members supposedly on the crew, and mainly that has to do to maybe like the clash of the angelic theme of Lafitte versus the kind of demonic theme of Brook. So angels versus demons. I think that would fit in really well. So Brook, that's my pick for Lafitte. Let's go on to the next one. So next one I'm going to talk about is Katerina Devon. I think that's her name. And so she's the female member of the Blackbeard Pirates. And when it comes to female members or female villains in One Piece, a couple come to mind. We have Miss Doublefinger from Alabasta. We have Perona. We have Monet, and we have Khalifa. Okay, so two of those were sort of physical, not really physical, but they were actual fights. The other two, so first off, Khalifa and Miss Doublefinger were both fought by Nami, and they were I would say won fairly, whereas the other two, Monet and Perona, they were fought by male members of the Straw Hats, but they were won through intimidation. They weren't won through physical contact or any physical damage. They were won through intimidation. So this leads me to believe that Oda doesn't really like to pair, doesn't like to show any kind of male versus female violence, because it kind of implies domestic violence. He doesn't want to have that kind of theme going through his, or he doesn't want to have that feeling in his work. So once they reach the Blackbeard Pirates, fights are going to be big. They're not going to be, you can't win through intimidation at this point. So I do believe that being a woman and following the pattern of Oda, he's going to pick a woman to fight against Katerina. And this one's just really is up in the air. I can't really, when it comes to either Nami or Robin, I don't know. I'm just going to go with my pick, which is Nami. Mainly due to the fact that Katerina, I said a couple lines about clothing, and she has, the jewelry piece, so she kind of just seems like an antithesis to Nami. I don't know, but you could pick either one. You could even pick someone else. Like I said, this is just my personal picks, what I would like to see, and you guys put what you would like to see on the bottom, and I'll definitely read all of them, and it'd be really interesting. This is more just a fun activity. So now here's the next one, and this one is when it comes to the Blackbeard Pirates, this is the hardest one for people to pick. Not because it's one of the lesser known members, but because it's just the biggest member, the biggest person in One Piece, the biggest known character in One Piece. He's the size of the Marineford of building. So that's San Juan Wolf, or San Juan Wolf, or however you want to say it. And this guy's huge. So I really think that it's going to take a special Straw Hat to beat him. And there are actually three very interesting possibilities. So three. The first one is the he's big. People say he's big, so get a big Frankie Shogun, like a super big Frankie Shogun that he gets later on in the series. I personally would not like that. We're not a fan of. A lot of people aren't a fan of Frankie Shogun. It's okay if he gets it out once or twice, but especially when it comes to these final battles, I want to see Frankie fight on his own, no 1v1 fights. So I don't really like that one. If you like it, it's cool. It definitely would be cool to see like a super Frankie Shogun at the end of the series. The second one, and I think this is the most probable, but it's not the one I'm going to pick. The most probable one would be, we know that throughout One Piece there's a lot of religious topics, a lot of religious symbolism and references, and so, one of the most well-known ones is David and Goliath, where David, he takes a slingshot and is able to take down a giant with I think it's like one shot, just so. If you take that in mind, Usopp, the sniper, he takes his slingshot and hits the giant. Maybe even deceives him with a couple tricks. Seeing as how Wolf seems to have kind of like a childish character to him, he might be very gullible, willing to believe Usopp's lies. So yeah, that's the second possibility. The third one is the one that I'm going to go with. And it's not the most logical one, but it's the one that I want to see, and it would be Chopper. Okay, now Chopper's my favorite Straw Hat. Okay, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that, but he is, and it would just be so sick to see him get like a super monster point, and then just brawl it out against the biggest character in One Piece. And there's a reason for Chopper too. So if you look up reindeer, right? I actually looked up. I looked up reindeer in a couple websites, and every single website I looked on, what was his main predator? He had a couple predators, but it always stated his main predator is wolf. It's wolves. So a wolf is a reindeer's predator, main predator. So reindeer, wolf. Chopper, wolf. I don't know. It's cool, So I'm gonna go with that. but you could go with either one of those three. You could go with a different one that I haven't mentioned. I mean, there's a ton of possibilities. So don't just limit to the ones that I say. Okay. From here on out, these really are just guesses. Like there's no really a lot because a lot of the Blackbeard Pirates we haven't really seen a lot of. So next one I'm gonna make or I'm gonna talk about is Van Augur. Okay. Now here's the controversial one because everyone says Van Augur, Usopp, sniper. I don't really. It doesn't make any sense. Like how are they gonna fight? I'm gonna stand here and shoot you, and I'm gonna stand here and shoot you, and we're just gonna hit each other like that. How do two snipers fight? I mean, I could see maybe like a really long range battle. Like I'm shooting from one island and you're shooting from a different island, and first one to hit wins. But that's not a cool fight. So I mean, it probably will happen. It probably will be sniper on sniper, but my pick is gonna be Frankie. Okay, and the main reason is he's probably the only Straw Hat who can actually take a bullet that hits him. Okay, so I mean we've seen Ben Beckman have hockey bullets, and so Van Augur might have hockey bullets too. So they might be able to hit any of the Straw Hats, but Frankie's a cyborg, so he has metallic, he has metal parts to him. So let's say like he gets a bullet shot through like right here, and he doesn't have any skin there. It's just it's just like metal. That'd be pretty cool if he gets shot a couple times in like metallic parts, and he has his own projectiles. So projectile on projectile, it's not sniping on sniping, but it's more projectile on projectile. So more close range, and you can have cooler fights, I think. But again, from now on, this is all just guessing. So my next one, Vasco's shot. He's the biggest member other than Wolf on the crew, and being the biggest member, that's the decision. That's why I'm gonna decide that he should fight Robin. It'd be really cool to see Robin do her, just make a ton of big clones and fight against Vasco's shot. It'd just be like a giant on giant battle. It'd be pretty cool. Because I mean we've seen Sanji fight a giant in Fishman Island, so we know it's possible for any of the Straw Hats to take on someone, especially his size. But it would be cool to see Robin fight against him. It would be cool to see any of them, to be honest. But again, Vasco Shot's one of those people that we don't really know much about. You could say, well, shot, so someone who shoots would fight against him, but I don't like using that kind of logic. And now Doc Q. Doc Q's a mysterious character. We still have no clue what his power is, even though he's one of the original Blackbeard Pirates. So when it comes to him, one thing that we have seen is that his sort of theme is luck and the heavens. We've seen him with the apples, where it's like Luffy got lucky. That leads me to believe that you're gonna need good luck to beat him, in a sense. And then when they were capturing Jewelry Bonnie, we saw him mention the heavens that have cursed him or something like that. So there's this sort of weird theme with him going on about luck, and that leads me to believe that the Straw Hat member who beats him is gonna beat him through luck in some sense. I mean, this is just based on like the 2 or 3 lines that we've had from him. And so, who's had the most luck on the Straw Hats? It's of course Usopp. He survived all the way, not really having any powers. And now that we're in the new world, he has attained strength and he has attained new powers. So he doesn't have to rely too much on luck anymore. But yeah, he's gotten lucky to get to this point. And he'll probably use that luck to fight. I don't know, but again, that's my what would be cool, to see Usopp, who we know has been lucky throughout the series, outluck Doc Q. And then the final guy, Ivalo, I think Pizarro is his name, and Again, another person we don't know much about. He has like these things on his arm. Like I can't really tell what they are. He has horns and blue hair. So at first I'm like, I mean, it'd be cool to see Frankie fight him because Frankie has blue hair and he's had the horns. He had a kind of similar body shape. But I mean, Jinbei, also blue. It just again like sort of like a bulky character, fight against a bulky character. And I mean, it's just the last two people I had, so I paired them up. But yeah, I mean, this is gonna conclude my video. Post down below who you guys want to see fight. Again, don't worry too much about what makes logical sense. It's more just who you would personally like to see fight. Which characters do you think would get the most development out of fighting a Blackbeard member, a corresponding Blackbeard member. And yeah, well, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.